Okay, so today I am making leather roses to adorn a wreath that I'm making for sale that's going to have this jawbone on it once it's painted. I have my jawbone over here. I'm not going to use it yet. I have a lit candle because I'm curling my leather petals. These are my petals. There are 3 different sizes, and some just sporadically heart petals to add some volume. And I've got little tendrils that I'm going to curl and darken in the fire as well. And I've got a plate to lay them on. And they don't really catch a fire, but if they do, I can throw them on this plate and put them out really easily, so it's all safe. Got my scissors, got my handy dandy glue gun, got my Gorilla Glue sticks, and let's see what kind of a mess we can get into. Here is one of the little misshapen petals that I make. What I do is I stick it in here, and I just want the edges to get darkened and make it look like it's not so brand new. And then I want to hold the flame under the leather, and you can definitely tell you're burning something's old skin. And I just want it to cup the leather. Do you see how it's cupping? And it also gives a very pretty burn texture color to the leather itself. So I very carefully do this to all of these. Lay them on the plate to cool, so they'll be ready for me when I'm ready for the next step. It's hard to do with one hand, y'all. I grab this one. This is one of the bigger ones again. We're just going to put those edges in there. We don't want the edges to look brand new. We want the edges to look old and weathered. So we stick that right in there. And this thing does have 2 wicks, but I'm trying to work on one so I can control more where the fire is going. And I'm going to hold it right under there and let it really just pull that leather tight and curl that. Let it work on this one for a minute. My smoke detector may hate me very soon. Do this one a little bit more. And there we go. It gives that, just kind of makes the petal look more natural. So I'm going to do the rest of these on my handy dandy candle, and then I'll show you how to do the tendrils in a moment. Tendrils you do have to be a little bit more careful with because they are thinner and they will hold a little bit of a flame, but they also kind of shape a little bit quicker for you, so you don't have to hold them in there as long. They do curl. See how easily they curl? Curl very easily for you. And I'm going to curl them more when I get them ready to be placed on the wreath. I'm actually going to curl them. Watch it just suck itself up right there. I'm actually going to curl them more. That's how it came out. I'm going to curl them more with my glue gun so they look more like actually little rose curlies. So there's the tendrils. Okay. Thank goodness, because that smell is not my favorite thing in the world. We have all our petals burnt and curled. So now we're going to start assembling. Let me try to find a way to prop this phone up so you can watch me do that, because that's one of the more important parts. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the bigger ones for the base, the next biggest ones for the middle, and then the smallest ones for the top. And then we're just going to start gluing in the center. And I have a very high heat gun, so if you hear me cuss, you know what happened. And so we're just going to basically, I like to do one on top, one on bottom. We're just going to basically hook these together on an edge, just barely down toward the base, so that we still get a lot of petal movement from the petals. Just burnt myself. Because that is what we want and need, is the petal movement at the end of the day. Okay, and there's our little base. And guess what, guys? Flowers are imperfect. So imperfection is fine here, because flowers are imperfect. And honestly, the the less perfect they appear, normally the cuter they turn out. So don't freak out if you think your flower is not a beauty standard. That's one thing that women worry about so much in crafts, in life, and I mean, just seems like every day, everything they think they have to be perfect. I am here to dispel those myths. Perfection is not something we strive for. We might luck up upon it once or twice in our life, but it's not something we strive for. Now, as you work with these, you will wipe off the soot, and I just normally at the end of it all take a little rag, just a barely damp rag, and just wipe the edges off, and then I might paint it in a clear paint, just kind of depending on my mood. Honestly, my mood dictates everything. If y'all haven't figured that out yet, where y'all been? See how this is not perfect? This is just a little flower. I just burnt myself again. It's a wonder I have any tattoos left on my forearm as much as I burned myself. But we are just sporadically placing these where we think that God himself would have put them in the process of making the flower. So this is about as close to being a creator as I get to be. And I try to enjoy it. As you can see, we're getting there. Now I've got this one kind of big petal. I'm going to tuck him in here to provide some balance. Something that is easy to do is to just kind of make your flower thinner or fatter as you go along, whatever strikes you fancy, or makes you feel like the flower wanted it there, needed it there. There's that. We've got one more, and I think I'm going to put him right over here. I'm going to put him right over here. Isn't he pretty? Now, I have tendrils. I'm going to get those in just a second, but because he is a little flower, I want to put a little something in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it on one of the tendrils so it will hold and it will be glued. And it will be held pretty decent if I can get it through. I may have cut it too big. Oh no, it's going through. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Twist it so that my burn sides are up. This does have a flat edge so it can be glued. That's something really nice about these wood beads. So I'm going to put the flat edge down. Hold it right there for just a second. And then we're just going to work these little tendrils and just kind of tuck them into the flower. Just kind of wherever you think they live. Oh, I just pulled a Bob Ross, didn't I? Oh, that's funny. And you just want to make them look just kind of natural. They just grew that way. They just add a little layer of something else so that your flower just looks a wee bit more natural. And I always like these ones that they burn and they curl really cute, because then you can tuck them in somewhere like that and they look like they're just unfurling for the morning sun. So cute. So we're going to get him in there. Hold him still. We're going to do one more right down here on this side. I will say that the hardest part of making these flowers is all the goddamn glue that you have to take off of them afterwards. That is the biggest pain in the butt part of it for me. I don't know about y'all, but for me it's the biggest pain in the butt part of it. I'm going to glue part of him and let him kind of snake down and live in the flower. So I think that's what he would want to do. Give him a little extra gumption to hold on to. And then as everything dries, I just kind of curl it up. And I will steal some greenery and put some flowers behind him. I'm going to swap some greenery off some flowers that have been rotating in and out of wreaths for a while, so they're old and weathered. And then he is going to go on this wreath, and I just killed Jens, I'm sorry. He's going to go on this wreath, but this wreath centerpiece is going to be this cow jaw. This jawbone, or I possibly have a coyote jawbone. I haven't quite decided. I've got to paint both of them and see what I'm wanting. But everything will be kind of natural. This is grapevine. This is a dreamcatcher I wove. This is my all natural. This is my all natural leather rosette. And then I'm going to do some turkey feather falls with some tufts. Turkey feathers. Now don't worry, don't come at me. These are humanely acquired. I've got a guy that has a fowl farm, and when his turkeys fight and molt and come apart, he picks up the feathers for me and sends them to me. So I get turkey and peacock and some other stuff. So maybe here in a couple days I'll show you how it's finished, but I wanted to post this so that y'all can see how I spend my evenings doing stuff. I have a rather odd life. For the feathers, I'm going to take two different sizes, one shorter, one longer, and I'm going to wedge them down an open wooded bead. And then I'm going to cut part of this off, and that's what I'm going to use to stab and glue into the wreath. And I also don't know if I'm going to go with a small beaver jaw, a big beaver jaw, or this big cow jawbone, or a coyote jaw. It just hasn't struck me yet. We'll see what happens when I do this all. And then I also got tendrils to hang some feathers from. And we'll see what it turns out to be. And I swapped 2 leaves from a grapevine thing I had in my kitchen. Nobody will ever know. This is where I ended tonight, and more to come. Okay, so here is the finished product. Here is the leather rosette that I made with the wood beading, the turkey feathers. There's some beads spreaded out through there too. The beaded dream catcher that I wove. The beaded turkey drop tine. A little extra pizzazz right here. I went with bobcat jaws. So that is a bobcat bottom jaw set. And then I made, but it was a push pin, but I made a decorative little hanger. So there is the finished product.